You've tried complimenting your kid, and it doesn't seem to work as well as you hoped. It seems to fall flat sometimes, right? Let's be honest. It can be hard to know how to give good praise to your kids. No one taught you this, right? But imagine you know the secret keys to doing it well, and the next time you praise your kid, you watch their face light up and your compliment hits home to their heart. Well, by the end of this video, you'll know those simple secrets and you'll be able to put them into practice immediately. And when you reach your child's heart, it can change everything and make parenting way easier by reducing conflict and growing trust instead. Hey there, I'm Teresa. I've been a solo mom for over a dozen years and a student of humanity for more than 40. Really, like multiple degrees in cultural anthropology and all. And I'm here today to tell you that the quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. It's true. More than anything else will. The good news is you don't have to be perfect to have great relationships. The bad news is it does take intentional action on your part, but it's not rocket science. And everything I share on my channel is totally doable. It took me years to figure out how to be in healthy, loving, life-giving relationships, but you don't have to wait that long. I'm going to spill everything I know. So that starts today with how to give your kid praise in ways they can actually hear. So secret key number 1, it's actually not what you should say, it's what not to say. So this first key is actually the first secret, and it's 2 keys in 1. So you get a bonus one. So 2 things you shouldn't say. The first one is don't give them praise followed by the word but. Just don't. They won't hear your praise at all. So they're only going to hear the correction. A small amount of salt in your glass of water is going to make your water taste salty. And you won't notice anything but the salt. You're not going to notice how much fresh water is there. It's just going to taste salty. And the same is true with your words. I'm not telling you not to correct your kid. That's an important part of parenting. But don't mix correction with praise, because they truly won't hear the praise at all. The second don't is don't say, I like that you. So let me give you an example, because this one seems maybe confusing, right? So I'll give you an example you maybe can understand or relate to. Your name, by the way, is Sarah. I don't know why I had to pick a name. I picked that name, and it's my channel. I can do whatever I want. So, Sarah, you're at work in this imaginary scenario, and you're in like a customer-facing job, right? So you're working in some insurance office where the public comes in, or you're working at a clothing store in the mall or car rental place or something like that, right? And a customer comes in who's clearly frustrated. And not only do you deal with that customer's problem, but you also help them to calm down, and you talk to them in a way that lowers tension and helps them to relate to you. And in the end, they actually thank you for helping them, and they leave much happier. Your manager notices. So later your manager pulls you aside and says, hey, Sarah, it was wonderful the way you helped that customer. You really turned that situation around, and they walked out happy with our service. Or imagine that your manager says to you, hey, I like how you helped the last customer. They left happy with our service. Good job. So it might seem like a subtle difference, but if you think about it, it's a little bit weird, maybe a little bit cheap, that second one. Especially compared to the first. And here's why. When your manager leads off with, I like, what they're really doing is making the situation about themselves, what they like, what they think, what they want, right? And by doing that, they're demonstrating their power over you. So you know that this is true, because if the situation was reversed, you would never say that to your manager. So let me give you an example of that. So let's say the customer couldn't calm down and they got angry and they started yelling, and your manager had to come over and handle the situation, which, you know, is like a real thing that happens in the customer service world. You will know this if you've ever worked in the customer service world. So, and afterwards, you're just so relieved that your manager handled the situation really well. You might say something to your manager like, wow, it was amazing the way that you turned that situation around and like helped that customer. Thank you for like coming to my aid, right? But you would probably not say, I like the way you handled that situation. Good job, right? And the reason it doesn't work is because your manager has a lot of power over you, whether we like to admit that in our culture or not. And you have even more power over your child, whether you like to admit to that or not. And honestly, when you're giving your kid praise, it's already implied that you like what they did. So there's no need to like enhance that or make it more about you. Really what you want to do is pull away from that a little bit. So by saying I like, what you're actually doing without realizing it is diluting the power of your praise. And look, if you forget and you make this mistake, like it's okay. You're not abusing your kid. It's gonna be okay, right? So you're still giving them praise, and that's a good thing, right? But if you want to reach their heart more and you want to open up their heart and get to the inside of them with your praise, then try to avoid saying, or at least try to avoid starting off with I like. Okay, so what should you do? Well, key number 2, use their name. And I already demonstrated this in the last example when I was talking about the manager situation, right? So this one is so simple and easy. Just use your kid's name when you're giving them praise. Our names are unique to us. They grab our attention and they pull us in, right? And so when you use your child's name, it's a very direct and personal thing at the same time. And by the way, these are the same reasons why you should not use your child's name when you're correcting them. So it's like it's too personal, it's too direct. And in that situation, it's almost hostile and it's not necessary. And the last thing you want to do is have your child associate their name, like their beingness, with your unhappiness, right? Okay, so you're going to use their name when you compliment them. What else? Well, secret key number 3 is be specific. Tell them what they did. So let's imagine you have a young boy. Maybe he's 6 years old and you're at a playground and your 6-year-old runs up to a slide and gets there at the same time as another kid who's smaller and younger than him. And your son lets the smaller kid go first. And then actually helps them to feel safe going up the steps. So when your son comes down the slide, he comes back to you, you can say, that was so nice, Ben. And he would know what you were talking about, right? Probably. And there's nothing wrong with that. Or you could say, Ben, it was awesome the way you helped that younger kid up the steps and then like help them to feel safe. That was really great. Do you see the difference? So you're calling out the good by naming it and you're stating exactly what they did that you liked. All right, so following that is going to be key number 4, which is give the larger context. So you, in that same situation, you could say, Ben, it was awesome the way you let that smaller kid go ahead of you and then help them up the steps. That's what it looks like when people are at their best. Imagine if everyone did that all of the time, how beautiful the world would be. And just think about how that other boy's heart feels that you helped him up those steps. So going back to our imaginary scenario from earlier where you're at work and some probably sad customer service job. All right, so like your manager could put your handling of the upset customer into a larger context by saying something like, our competition has been outperforming us in customer service for years now. And part of the reason I hired you was because I knew that you could help us fix that or help us like turn that around. We used to be at the top in customer service, and with you on board, I think we can be again. Thanks for all you're doing here. You see, like very specific praise. Imagine if your manager said that to you. I would love to hear that, right? All right, so the larger context, sharing the larger context with your child, what does that do? It shows the magnitude of the choice that they made. It shows why one choice is more important than your child might have realized, like making that choice to help somebody, right? And it amplifies your praise. It gives them a reason to continue with that positive behavior in the future. All right, so the next key is key number 5. Acknowledge that they made a choice. So here with the boy on the slide scenario, you could say, Ben, it was awesome the way you let the smaller kid go ahead of you and then helped him up the steps. That's what it looks like when humans are at their best. It's great to see you making that choice. So you're acknowledging that your child made a choice so they don't feel like it just accidentally happened or it was a one-time thing that they did. When they see they did make a choice, and they did make a choice, right? Once they see that that was a choice that they made and you're calling out that good choice, they know they can make that choice again in the future, and they can even start to apply it to other scenarios or situations. They're going to remember how good that felt, right? And they can also start to see that the opposite of what they did is also a choice, right? So if your son had chosen instead to be mean and push the kid aside and get up the steps first, that would have been a choice as well. So kids are smart. They can do the math, right? They can figure out that it actually feels better to help others or to make a good choice than it does to just like take and grab things for themselves all of the time. And you can help them to see that. They'll start doing the work of regulating themselves from the inside instead of you always having to do it from the outside. Are you starting to see how this is going to make your parenting life easier? So fewer and fewer corrections from you over time, more and more smart choices from them over time. Hey, before we get to the last key and the bonus info that I'm about to share, would you mind taking just a second to like this video? It's super helpful to me and to this channel, which is new. And if this information is helpful to you, it's a great way to say thanks. Thanks. All right, so let's take this to the next level. I am so sorry. You can hear my cat right now trying to join me. I'm going to pause this for just a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to go help my cat. Okay. So let's take this to the next level. Key number 6, praise randomly. Be sure to give your kid compliments when there's nothing going on, when they're not doing anything in particular, not just when they've performed well. It's important that they don't fall into the trap of performing for acceptance instead of acting from acceptance, right? It's so much better for them to know their own inner worth and goodness and from that place to act. So for my teen, I might say, Leela, the way you're always looking out for your friends is really cool. It's one of the things I love about you. You care about the people all around you. So here I'm reinforcing just the person that she is, right? It wasn't any specific thing that she did. And I'm helping her to internalize her own goodness. And rather than thinking that good is something outside of herself that she has to work hard at being, she realizes she already is good and she can just tap that inner goodness that's already in her. And for you and your child, you can start this with the smallest bit of good you see in them. If you're not used to, I had to train myself to do this, right? It was something that I thought about and realized I wanted to do. And so at first I had to find little things, especially in an area, if there's something that might be bothering you about your kid. So for my daughter, she struggles with laundry and laundry management and keeping her room clean, those kind of things. She's a teen, right? So if I see her making an effort at all in that direction, or if I notice one day that her room is clean, I'm going to lean into that, right? So find something good that you see about them, or pick out some aspect of their personality, especially if you're wanting to do random praise. Just pick some part of their personality that you really appreciate and enjoy and start there. And then watch that part of them grow, right? They'll lean into that part of themselves once you show them that that's who they are and that's what you see in them. So sometimes with my teen, if I'm just wanting her to feel secure, which, by the way, is not a feeling I had very often at all growing up, then I'll pick a random time and I'll look her in the eyes and I'll say, Leela, you're such a great kid. I'm so glad you're in my life. Really. Come here. And then I'll give her a big old hug. And then, I see her face light up and I see a big smile on her face. What child wouldn't love to hear that from their parents, right? So it's not super specific, but she knows that it's true in part because I've given her praise at other times. And I've used her name. I've given her the larger context in this situation, right? So I've used her name and told her that, basically she makes my life better. And her existence makes other people's lives better. And I followed it up with another expression of love, right? A hug. So that kind of leads me to another point, which is you certainly do not have to try to use all 6 of these keys to effectively praise your kid. You probably would have a hard time using all 6 of them at once, and it might come across as fake or something. But just stack a couple of them together at a time. So I'm including the list of the 6 keys in the description of this video. You can write them down, stick them on your fridge, put them on your dresser, wherever you're going to see them. And just start making use of them. When you get good at giving great praise, it makes parenting so much easier. Effective praise is the greatest teacher for your kid. Rather than always correcting them after they've messed up, always creating conflict in your home, you're priming them to do their best and avoid mistakes and poor choices in the first place. When you do this over time, it's like it snowballs. It just gets easier and you see more and more positive behaviors. And because they see you as a positive person who sees the good in them and believes in them, they start to believe it. They start to act from that place of being a good person. Listen, kids want to please the adults in their lives, even though it doesn't always seem like that. And if they're acting in a way most of the time that it seems like they're not trying to please you, chances are there's some growth there. You can lean in, you can do something about that. And you can make your relationship with them better. You are the one in charge, after all, right? Yay. And it's never too late to start doing the right thing. And giving effective praise to your kids is a great place to start. And you can put these to work today, right now, right? Like I said before, go ahead and write these down. Stick them somewhere where you're going to see them. And pick one at a time. Using their name is a super easy way to start. And just work to get better about using that one key over the course of a week. And then pick another one and stack it on top and try to use a couple. And just keep working at it. It's actually not that hard. Once you start to get the hang of it, it's just going to feel natural and normal. So I'm not perfect, for sure, okay? Not even trying to pretend to be. I don't get this right all of the time, but it's okay. I don't have to be perfect to be a great mom, and neither do you. And progress is something that's attainable. Perfection is not. So try out some of these. Watch your kid's heart grow. Watch your relationship flourish, right? And just enjoy parenting a lot more, which you can if you start giving your kids great praise. If you liked this video, I think you would also really like this one, where my dog shows us our hidden blind spot when it comes to communicating with others. And listen, if you're liking my videos, now's a great time to subscribe. You can do that over here. All right, do you have any simple praise secrets of your own? What are they? Spill it. Tell us. Head on down to the comment section, and I will see you in my next video.